The fog didn't just roll into Blackwood Creek. It crawled. It moved like a living thing, thick and gray, swallowing the jagged pine trees until only their dark tops remained, like fingers reaching out of a grave. Caleb pulled his collar up. His boots were soaked, and his lungs burned from the mountain air. Behind him was a life he had burned to the ground. In front of him was the only place that didn't know his name. He reached a rusted iron gate. Beyond it sat a house that looked like it was made of bones white, peeling wood and windows that stared back like hollow eyes. An old man sat on the porch, rocking in a chair that creaked in a slow, hypnotic rhythm. Creak crack, creak crack. He didn't have a rifle, but he held a heavy iron key in his hand like a weapon. "I'm looking for the caretaker job," Caleb called out. The old man stopped rocking. The silence that followed was heavy, broken only by the distant, unnatural howl of a wind that didn't feel cold, but felt hungry. "There are 3 houses on this ridge, boy," the old man whispered, his voice like grinding stones. "You watch the first. You clean the second. But the 3rd house, the one at the edge of the cliff, you don't look at it. You don't walk past it. And if you hear a woman singing from inside it, you run until your heart bursts." Caleb tightened his grip on his bag. "I just need a place to stay. I'm not afraid of songs." The old man stood up, leaning into the light. Half of his face was covered in thick, silver scars, as if something with long claws had tried to wipe away his very existence. "You will be," he said. "Everyone is brave until the sun goes down." Part 2. The first night, the scratching. Caleb was given a small room in the first house. It smelled of wet earth and old copper. He tried to sleep, but the house felt alive. The walls groaned. The floorboards shifted as if someone heavy was walking just behind him. Around 3 a.m. the dead RA sound started. It wasn't the wind. It was a rhythmic thud coming from the walls. Thud, thud, thud. It sounded like a heartbeat, but it was coming from the wood itself. Caleb took his flashlight and shone it at the corner. The wallpaper was peeling. As he watched, a dark, oily liquid began to seep from the cracks. It smelled like old blood and stagnant water. Then came the whisper. It didn't come from the room. It came from inside his head. "Caleb, we know why you left the city. We know what's in the trunk of your car." Caleb froze. He hadn't told anyone about the car. He had buried his secrets miles away. He stepped back, his heart hammering. He looked out the window toward the 3rd house on the cliff. A single candle was burning in the top window. A silhouette stood there still, tall, and watching him. Part 3. The second day, the discovery. The next morning, the old man was gone. Caleb found a note on the kitchen table. "Fix the roof of the 2nd house. Stay inside before the fog turns red." Caleb spent the day working, but he couldn't stop looking at the 3rd house. It was beautiful in a terrifying way, covered in black ivy. As he worked on the 2nd house's roof, he found something tucked under a loose shingle. It was a bundle of old Polaroid photos. Each photo showed a different man, all of them young, all of them looking like travelers. But in every photo, their eyes were scratched out with a needle. On the back of the last photo, written in fresh, red ink, were the words, "He's the next one." Underneath the text was a drawing of a car. His car. Panic surged through him. This wasn't just a creepy farm. It was a trap. He dropped the photos and climbed down, intending to run. But when he reached the gate, the road was gone. Where the dirt path had been, there was now only an endless wall of black pine trees that seemed to shift and move whenever he turned his head. Part 4. The climax, the red fog. As evening approached, the sky didn't turn orange. It turned a deep, bruised purple. Then, the fog arrived. It wasn't gray anymore. It was a misty, glowing red. The singing began. It was a beautiful, haunting melody, a lullaby that made Caleb's limbs feel heavy and his mind go numb. He found himself walking toward the third house. He knew he should run, but his feet wouldn't listen. The song was calling his name, promising him that his secrets would be safe here. He reached the front door of the third house. The chains were already broken. The door swung open. Inside, the house was filled with mirrors, hundreds of them. Every mirror showed Caleb, but not as he was. They showed him covered in the blood of his past. They showed his crimes. In the center of the room stood the woman. She wore a white dress, but her skin was the color of ash. When she turned around, she had no mouth. The singing was coming from the holes where her eyes should have been. You wanted a place to hide. She didn't speak, but he felt the words in his bones. Now, you will hide forever. The mirrors began to shatter. Each shard that flew through the air didn't cut his skin. It cut his shadow. He felt himself becoming thin, fading, being pulled into the glass. Part 5. The ending the cycle. The next morning, the sun rose, bright and cold. The red fog was gone. The old man returned to the porch of the first house, his rocking chair creaking once more. Creak crack, creak crack. A new car pulled up to the gate. A young girl got out, looking tired, holding a backpack. She looked at the old man. "I saw your ad," she said, her voice trembling. "I need a job. I'm a good worker." The old man looked at her. He held up a new Polaroid photo. It was a photo of Caleb, standing in the yard the day before. His eyes were now neatly scratched out. "There are 3 houses," the old man said, his voice void of emotion. "You watch the first. You clean the second. But the third house, you never go near it." The girl looked toward the third house. For a second, she thought she saw a young man standing in the window, his face pressed against the glass, screaming silently for help. She sighed and adjusted her bag. "I understand. I just need a place to stay." The old man smiled. It was the smile of a predator that had just found its next meal. "The barn will be enough," he said. "Just remember, the past always catches up. And here, it has teeth. Some places aren't meant to be found, and some secrets are better left buried." Did Caleb deserve his fate? Or was he just another victim of Blackwood Creek? Tell us your theories in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark, subscribe for more long-form horror stories. Don't look behind you, and we'll see you in the next story.